Good. Now I should have a mic, and now you guys should be able to hear me. It should be a lot better. I was talking all the time, but yeah, now you can hear me. And now I need to fix the background in my yeah, now my stream is working. So, let's get into what I'm working on today on stream. So, hey, welcome on in, Mr. Let's see, what I am working on today is I thought Excel was just being his usual quiet self. I can be quiet sometimes, but mostly on the beginning of the stream I tend to talk a bit because then I'm not directly into code. So if I'm concentrating on creating something, I can be quiet for a bit. Let's see. That one is running, and what I was working on was a source profiler. Let's see if I can make that bit here, and then if I put my OBS over here, you should be able to see the source profiler, and you should see a graph now. You do stuff only on OBS? Yeah, on my streams I do OBS plugin work, yeah. Not much else. And if you have some questions about my plugins, this is the place to ask them. The Crowley Beer getting ready to sleep. Been a long day. Have a good sleep. Let you go join in just for a bit for the stream. So I will the refresh interval is set to 1 second, so every second there is a pixel added to this graph, but all the values are very low, so we need to make it a bit heavier. So on my other screen I will just add a not very efficient Gaussian blur, and then we should see the values go up. That seems to be working. And also there is another color. The value gets higher. Let's increase it a little bit more. And then we get in the yellow, and then if I increase it even more, then we get skipping of frames, I guess. Hey, welcome on in, Steve. Steve's very own. Let's see if I can crank it up. It will drop some frames. but for the graph it will get into the red. So that is working. If I get it back down, it should all be fine again. What magic are you working on today? I'm working on the source profiler and I'm adding a graph to it, as you can see here. So you can see that the user-defined shader used a little bit more resources at this moment, and then so that also is for rendering, added to the rendering time of that scene. So this scene and the image that it was on all went up. I just add an inefficient blur and have a slider to change what it's doing. I can show you here. If I just add a little bit of blur, you see the values go up here. Hello, welcome on in, the Lotress. So that is working. Yeah. So if I switch, then the graph starts all over again. It kinda makes sense. If I add a shader here, then it should get a graph that's just starting there. Yeah, that all looks correct. So if I remove the shader again, it's moved there. So that all seems to be working. Let's see if I resize. There are some artifacts when I resize. Let's get some data in the graph. It's more visible when resizing. Just wanted to say thanks for all your efforts on this. Hey, welcome. Hey, welcome on in. JWH. Hi there. I only started streaming last week, but just dropping in to say very grateful for your excellent plugins. Thank you very much. Glad you like them. So I make it this small and go there, and then it's removed. Yeah, it makes sense. Only found out you stream by chance? if you follow me on Blue Sky, it might have a message on my profile. No, that is broken. I set that up that when I start streaming it should post a message on my Blue Sky, but that seems to be not working. You found out via GitHub. That is also possible. Let's see. I think I had the one from Commander Root set up. That is set up. Stream went live event should inactive relink. Then I need to relink my Blue Sky account. I was trying to find out how to write a custom filter, looking for example code. Then found your Twitch name. Yeah. If you're looking for like a shader, you can look at the shader filter plugin, and there are lots of examples in the folder that are provided. I found out the time implementation that was broken was probably fixed in a more recent release than I use. Yeah, I did an update today, but that's not the time issue, that's only the loop seconds that is fixed in that one. I think the time issue was fixed in 2.4.1. Let's see if this works. I'm linking my Blue Sky account. That is linked again. I have not updated in years, to be honest. But if you don't need the updates, that's totally fine. But otherwise, if you want to keep up to date with the updates, I post most of the updates on my Twitter, Blue Sky accounts, or you can just follow me on the OBS resource pages, or multiple ways to keep track of the updates. That should get me some in the red, and then go back down. That is. Thank you for the subscription. Let's see. Yes, that is. Let's see what code we all changed. I should have these. This button should show it here. I can use this one for now. I think I still have it fixed on column. Do I mind that? This part can be reverted. This part I should not need. This is the new graph stuff. Yes, let's see if I did break something by removing that code. Source profiler. I did break something. That should be there. the graph delegate is called let's restart it. I think I need a user role. Yes, I removed some too much code here. It's a graph. We should get to this code. Hey, welcome on in, Camera Tim. Things are good. I hope for you too. Let's open the source profiler and we get to this bit of code. So that is looking good, and we get to this bit of code. So the graph is working again. Did I format? No. So that should also be up this file. So the graph is working again, and we can get some data in the graph. That is all working. Let's see our changes. That should be what we need, yes. compile those last changes. Let's see if I did not break anything. That's looking good. Test in the all modus as well. We are using the cut transition, so that's going up in the scene. Yeah, makes sense. Let's remove the blur again. That is all looking good. I think I don't use this part anymore. Let's see. So this can be removed. That still compiles. It is looking like the code is now a bit cleaner. get to this code if we remove the column. Yes. And now it's removed. We should not get this code again. So that makes it a bit more efficient. We do the filter again. Let's crank up the blur a bit. Yes. Yeah, it's all looking fine. That is working like that. Let's push those changes. We have translations added. Yes. And let's see that is building. Let's make an update message for my shader filter plugin because I didn't message on Twitter and GitHub yet. Twitter and Blue Sky. Let's pick color source. Let's make it black. Yeah. Let's do something like this for an update message. Let's see. New post. And we put this image in. This link. That should be a good post. User define shader join the OBS example shader. That is all fixed. 243. Yeah. That is fixed there, and let's also post it on Twitter. This link in that as well. We also need to put, I also have it on Mastodon. That it should be here. That should all be done now. Let's see, this one failed on Windows and Mac. The Windows is normally that it fails, but we need to fix this. That error message, and this is the same. It's all both of that. So we can that looks like the fix. Let's see if that's the fix. Will build better on macOS. At the build steps, that should be good. Downloading all the dependencies. Building against OBS 31. Yes, we have a successful Mac build. So we should have an artifact here. Yes, now we need to bump the version, I think. Yes, we are already on 8. Let's make this version 9. That is version 9. So why can't you find libOBS? Thank you for the follow, Goofball Guinness. Let's see. Source profile is now running. This is all building, so you should go fine. Bit further. and source profiling should, I think, we'll get the release out tomorrow. There are some other things in the build pipeline I might do another check on. But it's mostly just working here. Let me see if I can make something that when I switch mode, not every graph is lost. Have the menu somewhere here. Yes. That would be we have a map of graphs and we create everywhere like this one. And it's quite a few places. Now the full, when refresh sources is done, the full list is deleted and created again. But we should keep some references if we want to keep the graphs working when changing mode. That might be something for another stream. I think I'm going to make this a short stream and find somebody to raid or Twitch in a moment. So if you have any other questions or things like that, put them in chat, otherwise I'll find somebody to raid. Let's use that raid browser. Hey, welcome in Stargate Blue. I was just about to look to end my stream, but I see somebody chatted on YouTube as well. Just Focus saying hi from the YouTube side. Why is that not showing in my chat? Have I been ignoring YouTube chat the whole time? It should show now. What are you doing today? I was working on the source profiler plugin and then mainly on the graph function that you can see here. I just got here, so I don't know if many more people said anything. That's fine. It was not showing up in my chat viewer, but the YouTube got disconnected. It's connected again. So, but the graph that I added here, if I load a shader that takes up a bit, you can see the graph going up. And then when I disable it again, or just set the strength very low, and if the graph gets to certain values, the color of the graph changes. like the same it already did for the values. So makes it even easier to see how your sources are performing. So now you can set it to all mode to have it all, and then you can have the filter on, and you see the filter showing up here. And then when I switch scene in OBS, you should see some changes, seeing the usage going down and seeing some other sources showing. And if I show all the sources, then when I switch scene where it's on again, then you should see this going up. So that is working as expected. It's not dockable at the moment because running the source profiler takes extra resources. So if you make it dockable, you get the tendency to leave it on, and the source profiler takes up extra resources, so I would advise not to keep it on. So that's why it's not a dock, but just a window that opens. So if you're in OBS, it's tool source profiler, and then it's a window that you can resize, you can search and things like that. But that was all I wanted to do today, so I am going to find somebody to raid on Twitch. I've looked at Source Profiler a while back and I'm not quite understanding what it does. I can explain you all the values I got here. Most of the times I like the see nested only active mode, so you can see what is really active, and then for the columns I just going to add all columns so I can explain them all. And I don't need. The input and output is only for media sources or other async sources like capture device. Then you can see what frame rates you get in. So there are things, let's start on the most left column. Every source and filter and things like that have a name as a transition, and they have a type, so the type of source that it is, or transition, or things like that. Whether it's active at the moment, we have only active on, so it's all checked. Whether it's rendered at the moment, so where active is in the program output, so it's in your preview here. So in your program output, that should be active. But sources can also be rendered when you, for example, have the source properties open. Then it renders it, but it's the source. You can have the source properties open for a source that is not in your active output at the moment. So then it's rendered but not active. Enabled is whether the icon is checked or not, but because we only do show active at this list now, the enabled is all there. But if you do not only active, you can see that there are sources that are here checked out and that are here also not enabled. Each source can do things per frame in OBS. That is what they call a tick in OBS. So, and then this value you see here is how much time it did take in milliseconds. It's milliseconds as far as I know. Yeah. So 0.01 milliseconds to do tasks for an image source. Basically does almost nothing. That's the average over the last 5 seconds, but the maximum can be interesting as well. So there has been a frame where the image source in the last 5 seconds, where the image source did take up a little bit more time for the tick, and that's why I have an average column and then max column. Then we go on to the CPU columns. And the CPU column is how much time it takes for the render step on the CPU. So that's a source. When it's not rendered, it can still have a tick, but the CPU on the render step is always 0 when it's not rendered. So this is the render part for the CPU. Also the average and the maximum. Because a source can be rendered multiple times, there is also a total, and it's a total average. But if a source is rendered twice on a scene, you will see the CPU total will be twice as high as the CPU average. The CPU percentage is what percentage of is this average time of the time it takes to render a frame. So if you have 30 frames per second, you have more time to render a frame than when you have 60 frames per second. So if you get a value of more than 100%, you will be skipping frames, because it takes longer to do the render task for that source than the time is between frames. Then we get the columns that are the same as the CPU, only for the GPU. So that's also rendering time on the GPU and the percentage for that. And I added a total that is average GPU time and average CPU time. Theoretically, the total can be larger than the frame render time, because the CPU and GPU can run parallel, but I just added them and showed the percentage for the total, so that you can see in theory they can run fully parallel, but most of the times it just does a bit of work on the CPU and then a bit of work on the GPU. They depend on each other, so they cannot run fully parallel. So that's why I added a total, and the total makes it also easier to sort, like what's the heaviest, and then you can look at if that's in GPU or CPU. I just added today the graph, so you can see it over time. And then there are some columns like sub-items, so for scenes, how many things are there in the scene and things like that. So that's mainly for when you have a tree like this. Where did my sub-items? There are 10 items underneath, so that's easily to see how it's divided. Then if a source is private or not. Like for example, transitions are private sources, and there are some other things in OBS that also take time to render that can be private sources. For example, a stinger transition also has a media source that plays, but that is not shown in OBS itself, so that's a private source. We have another type column, and this is if it's a scene, a source, or a transition or a filter. I should get filter here. Yes. Then I added columns for the width and the height of the source, so that you are able to see, like, for example, if a source takes up much render time, it can also be, for example, if you get in your webcam at 8K, then it will take a much more time to render than 1080p. So that's why it's handy to have the width and the height also available in here. And that is all the columns that are in there. Here, so you in the bottom you have a refresh interval, so that you can select how often this refreshes. I have it by default on 1 second. If you have a lot of sources, gathering all the data can take long, so you might need to set a higher refresh interval for the source profiler to be able to keep up with all the data. And a reset button to refresh it, because it reacts on events like source edit and things like that, but it might get an event wrong somehow or things like that, and so I've reset, and then it reloads all the sources that are needed. So yeah. And there's a filter option here as well, so if you want to see where the shader is loaded, it's nowhere at the moment. Do I have no shader? No, it's not active. Active now, so if I reset, it should show here, but if I want to search for it, I should be able to find it this way. Good plugin for making sure you ain't overloading OBS. Yeah. Is there a way for transition table to stuff turning off when I close OBS? Because every time I open, it is closed. Is there a way for transition table to stuff turning off when I close OBS? Because every time I open, it is closed. Transition table is off every time I open OBS. Normally it should be on by default. I think there might be a hotkey to enable or disable it, but normally it should be on, as far as I know. I don't think there is any there's a hotkey for it to enable it and disable it, but it should be on by default. Thank you for the walkthrough. You're welcome. I'm in the OBS for enhanced broadcasting beta. Yeah, that's fine. That should work exactly the same. So if you go to the settings, no, that should be just fine. That should not cause an issue. The only thing I can think of is the hotkey to enable or disable transition table. Let's look at the code. It's default true. The only place it's set to pause is when the hotkey is pressed. Is transition table showing in the tools menu? Because if it's also not showing in the tools menu, then transition table is not installed in that version of OBS you're running, and then you it is there, then it should work. What's your question, Cameron Tim? How hard would it be to make a color wheel selector? Just to elaborate, the idea is that if the colors selection is in the center, red, green and blue would each be value of 1, then selecting or moving that point from the center would change those values. Where do you want to use the color wheel for? I can make a color wheel in OBS, but what input do you want changed to a color wheel? Is it like, for example, for a color input for in a shader? I could make something like that, but at the moment OBS shader filter has no own user interface elements. It only tells to OBS the properties of the shader filter, but it has no own UI elements. And the advantage of that is that when OBS updates and it uses a new Qt, the UI framework, I don't have to update all my plugins. So I like it that way, to have less dependency on the UI. But so it's technically possible to make, but not something I wanna add to OBS shader filter at the moment. and you get an ad. Paying my bills, it's good. Let me know when you're back from the ads. Yeah, not having UI elements would make it difficult. Hey, welcome on Enga level. I can show you an example. Yeah, I know what color wheels look like. That should... That's not very difficult to make, but it's only like in plugins where I don't have UI elements. I tend to keep my plugins that have UI elements very UI orientated, and the other ones as less UI elements as possible. So that I don't have the dependency. Yeah, working around the OBS user interface can be a bit hard sometimes, yeah. If there are other questions... I've been trying to find ways of interacting with my HTML game. I put in OBS using channel points, but I only can manually interact with it myself. Yeah, I don't think OBS WebSockets allows you to send interactions. Technically, you can make a plugin that has OBS WebSocket vendor requests, and that allow you to send clicks and things like that to sources. The idea for the shader is to convert gamma space to linear and moving RGB values inside of linear, then converting back to 709 to have more photometrically accurate white balance tint adjustments. That is quite a list of words there. I think I understand most of it. Yes. Let's see. Makes color balance better. Yeah, that's what I gathered from it. Yeah. Has anyone done vendor requests to draw yet? I added vendor requests in draw. If I don't know if somebody used it. There should be vendor requests. Yeah, you can get the version, clear a drawing, or draw, and then there is a source, and you can set the tool and things like that, because it calls draw on the draw source. Then it's here, it's a proc handler. Draw proc handler. Yeah, you have the tool from position X, from position Y to position X and Y, a tool color, tool alpha, tool size. So it does not support the new image and stamp tools yet, but the most of it is possible with the vendor request for the draw tool. I love draw, I just scribble random times on it. Yeah, I even got it working with the tablet. I got the tablet for my partner and connected it to my PC and did the pressure sensitive drawing on it, so that should also be working in the last version. Are there any other questions? If there are no other questions, I will look at the list of people who's online to find somebody to raid. Oh god, they're no longer updating Epoch Cam. Yeah, I don't use it, so it's not that bad for me, but yeah. Let's see, let's set up a raid. Thank you all for coming to my stream, and I will see you all another time. Bye. Let's use